This week will be one for the ages as we close International Fight Week with two fantastic championship battles. The UFC 189 event promises to be extraordinary, with Conor McGregor battling for the featherweight title. In addition, fans will watch champion Robbie Lawler as he makes his first against Rory MacDonald. I'd like to extend a special thanks to Frankie Lorenzo Fertitta, Dana White, and the UFC staff, Bob Bennett of the Nevada State Athletic Commission. And once again, thanks for being here. We look forward to seeing you Saturday night. And now I'd like to introduce Dave Scholler to the podium. Thank you very much.
How's everybody doing? Is Ireland here right now? Is Sacramento in the building? Thank you all for joining us here. I apologize, Dana's not going to make the press conference, so you're stuck with me. A couple quick notes. Excited to be here today for UFC 189. Don't forget, Sunday, immediately following UFC 189, we have the Ultimate Fighter finale. And International Fight Week also features the UFC Fan Expo. Hope you guys have all downloaded the app on your phone so you can keep up with our current schedule. With that being said, let's get to the first question.
Hey, John Morgan, MMA Junkie, USA Today Sports. Quick question for you about Conor. Obviously, this is not the fight we originally wanted to see, but some people are saying it's maybe a more interesting fight now because stylistically, can you help us understand from a business perspective the metrics and things that you guys track? What has changed, either positively or negatively, since the fight changed?
So you've seen our ticket sales. Our ticket sales are now at $7.1 million. So congratulations to all you guys making this the biggest event in the history of UFC for Las Vegas. Our pay-per-view pre-buys are through the roof. This is on pace to set big records. And in addition to that, all the metrics that we use, web traffic is up double and triple in most instances over the next biggest event this year and last year. So this is a big, big event. And then we have over 16,000 fans expected into the arena on Saturday. Sunday tickets are selling well. We're going to have a record crowd at the expo.
Can you help us understand, obviously Jose is not here, some confusion. It just seems like there were some doctor's reports saying he had a broken rib, some saying he didn't have a broken rib. There seems to be this feeling maybe the UFC was trying to get him to fight with a broken rib to protect, the integrity of this event, that sort of thing. Can you just help us understand what happened and how this all went down?
So let's start here. Jose's health and safety was always number one, and it always is with all of our athletes. So any rumors or social media that you see that we're forcing Jose to fight is categorically false. The bottom line is there were difference of opinions in the actual x-rays and scans that were looked at, but the bottom line was it was a significant injury, and Jose decided that he couldn't fight. And that's understandable. Obviously, again, his health and safety is first and foremost. He had a serious rib and cartilage injury, and I know he's going to be watching Saturday night.
Thanks, David. Last thing, I know we're going to talk about this weekend's events, but overnight we saw some social media posts, I think, regarding Travis Brown.
Yep.
Can you give us an idea of is the UFC looking into this, what you know about it, and is anything being done at this time?
Sure, so I'll actually read a statement regarding that matter. UFC is aware of these social media allegations made against heavyweight Travis Brown. The organization requires all athletes to act in an ethical and responsible manner as mandated by the UFC Fighter Code of Conduct policy. The UFC will not tolerate domestic violence or any other violation of the policy. However, every athlete is deserving of due process. In this situation, as with any official allegations, will be duly reviewed and thoroughly investigated by an independent party. As a result, Travis Brown will not be participating this week in International Fight Week activities, and we'll regroup as soon as we have more.
Thanks, Dave. I appreciate that. Just real quickly, for the fighters. Start with Conor. Conor, obviously, Chad is getting a lot of credit for stepping in on short notice, but you're also taking an entirely different stylistic fight on short notice. Just want to ask about your mindset and decision process. How much of the 2,400, 2,500 Irish fans flying over here coming to fight, how much did that factor into your decision to take a completely different fight?
My mind is absolutely bulletproof, solid as a rock. So if you were number one, who gives a shit if number two steps out in place of number three? At the end of the day, I'm number one. So it makes no difference who is as you said, the fans that have come over here, you know, to make the trip from my home city to here to Las Vegas is a once in a lifetime trip for a lot of people. It takes a lot of sacrifice and a lot of saving up. So, of course I was going to show up and compete regardless of who was across with me. That's why I was willing to take the 155-pound fight, the 170-pound fight, whatever fight was available, I was going to take the fight. So I am happy to be here, and I am happy to be representing my country on this stage. I am happy to be giving the UFC a $7.1 million gate because it is me who is giving them this gate. Realistically, Dave here shouldn't even be up here. I should be on that podium. I should be standing here. That should be my spot. Every inches here, because it's me who's had to bring in all this. $7.1 million gate, highest numbers every time. You have superstars singing us into the octagon. Who's really got that? Me.
Young Connor!
Just that last question I had, Chad, I would ask you, you admitted that you've been scouting Connor from day one, and then you got in, you said you knew you were going to have this fight. So take away all the hype, take away all the bravado. What do you think about him as a fighter? As you break it down just as an opponent, what do you think of him as a fighter?
I mean, in my opinion, Connor is a very one-dimensional fighter. He's a long, southpaw stand-up fighter. He doesn't have wrestling, he doesn't have jiu-jitsu. You know, you wipe all that hype out of here, I'm going to get in there and destroy this dude.
Some newspaper in England. Connor, just how proud are you to be looking at this crowd right now? Predominantly Irish fans supporting you. I believe there's going to be probably 10,000 more big players to fight now. How proud
I'm
are you?
extremely proud of where I come from. I'm extremely proud that I'm representing my nation on this stage. I'm extremely proud that my nation are running the fight game. You know, I mean, that fills me with pride. But, you know, again, tomorrow at the weigh-ins with 10,000 fans fill the arena for the weigh-ins and make it the most attended weigh-ins in UFC history as well. You know, all of these accolades fill me with pride. So I'm looking to go in there and represent my nation and fight with pride. And I'm going to kill this man across from me. He's saying this man shoulder, and I'm going to slap the face off him, and that's it.
One of the mistakes that a lot of opponents have made in the past is that they've become emotionally involved in the fight. And you've got a memorable back and forth with Conor, particularly the one on British television. Is there a danger that you are too emotionally invested in this fight and you're not going to be able to think clearly?
Yeah, honestly, man, I can barely understand what you're saying. We're getting an echo back here, so it's hard to hear. But from what I got from that, I mean, dude, I've been a top-level athlete my entire life. I mean, I've dealt with guys like this my entire life. You know, I beat him. So, you know, this is nothing new. You know, obviously it's going to be good to get in there and fight and beat this dude, but, you know, I know what I got to do. I'm going to stay focused. I have a game plan. I'm going to get in there and I'm going to destroy him.
Question for Connor here. This is Ariel Alani. Since that fight against Dennis Seaver in Boston, it's pretty much been a foregone conclusion that you were going to fight around the summertime, and we all thought it was going to be Aldo. You did this unbelievable world tour. I mean, I would guess you've done more media leading up to a fight than any other UFC fighter. It would have been you and Aldo, but unfortunately he's not here. At this point, after all that media, the world tour and everything, do you almost feel like a caged animal, like you're about to finally get to do what you're here to do?
I'm waiting patiently to pull the trigger. We've done a lot of build-up into this. Like I said, I built this event. This is the McGregor show, make no mistake about it. I'm going to pull the trigger and eliminate my opponent, and I'm going to enjoy every damn second of it.
Do you think that this fight would have generated $7.1 million if it was you versus Mendes from the get-go? Or was a lot of that because it was the Aldo fight, the title fight?
Yeah, I feel it would. I feel with the roll-off of the Seaver fight, with the record-breaking numbers in the Seaver fight, it was continuing to grow. It does not matter who was in front of me. If it was somebody other, if it was Frankie, it would still roll through. If it was Nate, it would still roll through. And whoever they have, as long as it's me on the other side. Let's say I pull out. Let's say I pull out and it's Jose and Chad up here. The gate easily Chad's last game was $545,607. That's less than my show money. It's absolutely embarrassing. So as long as I'm here, the numbers remain.
And one last one from you, Connor. Always enjoy asking what you foresee in the future, and since they're without a main event as of right now for September 5th back here in Las Vegas, and I know you want to fight in Dublin, how do you foresee the second half of 2015 if everything goes your way on Saturday?
If Jose comes back from his little jog he's had going on, maybe we can do it, but I don't think he's coming back. But we will see. I mean, there's no coming back from what he went through. He got annihilated all through the build-up and mentally broken, and then he became physically broken. So who knows what's around the corner? But you cannot bring the show into Dublin, the show that I built in my home city, and not have me a part of it. So I don't care if it's in front of 60,000, 70,000 pro barbell, it's in front of 9,500 in the O2, I still will be on that show.
Yesterday, I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me, Chad? Yesterday, Connor was talking about some tweets that you sent to Jose Aldo. He said
Pussy move, eh? That was a pussy move. You know, trying to be friendly. You're trying to be little friends with him. Oh, please, beat me, man. When a man is close to death, that's what he looks like. When a man is close to death, that's what he looks to deal with. He looks like a deal.
I can't even understand what you're saying.
Well, my question was, why did you send those tweets? What made you do that?
It's about respect. I knew there was going to be a person here. These guys are going to see me destroy this dude, and I'm going to do it.
Let's start with Connor. Connor, there have been some reports that you are dropping as much as 27 pounds, maybe 20 pounds to hit the target mark at the weigh-ins. Is that accurate? And if so, is that a weight cut for you?
I do not mess around with this game. I take this game very, very seriously. It's the reason why I have been out here living in the desert heat the last 12 weeks with a 20-strong team that I have grew up with, that I came up in the game with. I don't mess around with this game. My weight is on point. I will be 145 like I am every single time. And I will be an absolute monster inside that octagon. You know, he's too small. He's too small. It's as simple as that. The power is going on with the precision. You will absolutely demolish him.
Too much weight.
He has a few scrambles in him and then he will break. Then I'm going to pick him apart.
You had something to say, Chad?
He looks scrawny. He's cutting too much weight. He's skinny. I'm going to destroy this guy.
Chad, with that said, your fans definitely behind. Are you embracing this role as maybe the underdog and the guy that the fans are, it seems like, at least cheering against?
I never pay attention to who's the underdog, betting wise, all that bullshit. I mean, this is a competition for me. This is what I love to do. I live for this shit. So getting in there, competing against anybody, I don't care who it is. This is what I love to do. And this is awesome to be a part of a card that's going to be the biggest UFC fight card in the history of the UFC. So, this is a dream come true for me.
Quick question for Rory. Rory, do you feel that you won that first fight with Robbie Lawler? And also, what did you take away from that first experience that will help you in the rematch?
It was a close fight, but I think the knockdown in the third round sealed the deal that Robbie was going to get the decision. I walked away with a lot. It remotivated me, most importantly. Refocused me on mixed martial arts, and since then I've been on a roll with 3 good wins against some top contenders, and it's given me confidence going into this next fight.
And then finally, one for the champ, Robbie Lawler. Let's talk about your mindset coming into your first UFC title defense and coming in as an underdog.
I'm not really worried about being an underdog. That's not what I concentrate on. I'm focused on just business at hand, going out there and destroying Rory. He's a heck of an opponent, really good opponent, but I'm focused. I've had a great training camp, and I can't wait to showcase my skills.
With KLAS TV, CBS here in Las Vegas. Jack, can I just ask you a little bit about your superior wrestling skills, the advantage you would have, but his huge reach advantage is the disadvantage you might have in that?
As far as wrestling goes?
Well, your wrestling skills are superior to his, but then his reach advantage is gigantic over yours. Just the pluses and minuses of that.
Yeah, I mean, every person I've ever fought in the octagon has a reach advantage over me. And this is nothing new. You know, so most people that Mike Tyson got in there and fought, you know, had a reach advantage on that guy too. So, you know, I'm the type of guy that has the athleticism. I'm explosive. I can close the distance. You know, I'm not afraid of reach advantage over me. And I have the wrestling ability to put this dude on his back. Anybody in the division to put them on their back. And I'm confident going into this fight.
Father, let me just ask you, you mentioned in the past that you're going to butcher this guy. Explain that to me.
And his facial structure will be rearranged. He has, when you're talking about his entries into the exchanges, but really he has only been semi-successful against really low par grapplers on the feet. Other than that, he has looked very basic. He backs up. He is a novice in my eyes. I look at him as a novice. He throws an overhand right. He looks at the floor, closes his eyes, and hopes for the best. This is day one beginner stuff where I come from. So you will find out the range and the difference in skill level when we face him when we collide.
This is Connor CBS Radio. Question for Conor McGregor. Conor, you brought your whole camp in over from Ireland. We know you've been here for quite a while now. Can you tell us, was there any change from the day that you thought Jose Aldo was your opponent to the first day that you knew Chad Mendes was going to be the opponent inside the camp? Were there any changes made whatsoever?
Not one bit. I had my full team out here already. The ship was sailing smoothly. And my coach came in. It was maybe 1 p.m. I was still asleep, and he came into the room and woke me up and says, "Hey Conor, it looks like Jose's out. It's going to be Mendes." I opened one eye. I said, "They are all the same." I closed my eyes. I went back to sleep, and that makes no difference.
Question for Chad Mendes. Chad, you have the advantage of having trained and competed in multiple 5-round fights here. Conor obviously hasn't had to go that far. A lot of people think that if you have an advantage, it's going to be trying to take him in deep and then grinding him out. How much of a factor do you think your previous 5-round fight experience is going to have here?
I mean, I think that's huge. That's a lot of experience. You know, he's cutting a ton of weight. I mean, this guy is going to start fading the later rounds. You know, wrestling makes you tired, and we're going to test that.
And finally, question for Dave Shaw. Dave, can you clarify in terms of the Ultimate Fighter finale fight tomorrow night? It's 300 grand still left on the table, or up for grabs, Sunday night rather. And how is the winner compensated for that? Do we know how much of that they're getting? How's that 300 broken up?
So I don't have those, but you can ask me afterwards. I'll get you the information. They'll both be compensated. It's going to be one hell of a fight.
Spencer, go ahead.
Spencer David, Providence in Vancouver. Question for Rory. You seem far more relaxed and almost excitable and engaging this time around, which is different from previous fights. A lot of people have always talked to you about that. You seem more comfortable. Can you just talk about what it is with this fight that has you in sort of a different headspace this time around?
It's my focus. I'm pretty relaxed right now. I think it comes from confidence. Just focus on the martial arts right now and focus on this fight, getting through this fight. I really want to put on an impressive show.
And for Jake, if I could, Jake, you got a bounce back victory against Josh Koscheck. You guys are up there, you guys will ask us some questions. What was it for you that you needed in that fight with Josh to sort of get back into the win column and reset here heading into this fight?
I really need to just become more uncivilized when I fight and kind of separate the juggernaut and really let it out there. So, and with going into the fight, I knew, no question, I have everything what it takes to win, and as well as I do on Sunday.
Amber Dixon, KSMV Las Vegas. My question is for Chad Mendes. Conor has a knack for trash talking. Out of all of the trash that's been talked, what's been most personal for you? What will you use to motivate you the most?
He's a black belt in trash talking. Comes natural to the dude. So, this has been a fun ride going through all this with this dude. This is a fight that, in my opinion, like I said, you throw all that hype, that trash talk away. This is an easy fight for me. So I'm going in this focus. I know what I have to do. He can say whatever the hell he wants to say, but I know what I got to do.
What makes it an easy fight for you?
He's a one-dimensional fighter. He's a stand-up fighter. That's it, bottom line. He doesn't have anything else. I'm more well-rounded. I have power. I can put people to sleep on their feet. I can take you down and beat a hole in your face, and I can submit you. What else can you do?
And Conor, what would your response to that be?
You do absolutely none of those things. He's a novice in my eyes. He's a white belt on the mat. He has no, in the grappling exchanges, he will learn as well, and then Panic will say, and then he'll cower like a little girl and begin his run. And I will catch him.
Keep thinking it, man. Keep thinking it.
The last question for you, Conor. Can you describe the significance of this fight for your country?
It's a monumental occasion for myself, my team who have been with me since day one, my country. We are running the fight game now, the fighting notice is back, so
Thanks, David. This is for Hyder. Going for the Bleacher Report. You had a lot of hype coming into this, a lot of buzz building up into this tough finale that you made. What does this moment mean? What will this fight mean on Sunday for your career, and what can come next?
This fight represents all the blood, sweat, tears, all the hard work that I put in, the years that I put in, the injuries. For the 3 fights that I put in 16 days, this is for me. It's my opportunity to go out there, put that final nail in the coffin, show them what I'm all about, and go out there and break them.
And the next question for Jake. Congratulations on the addition to your family.
Thank you.
So, with that said, how does that change things now in your career, what you're fighting for? Now that you're a dad, moving forward in this big fight against Steven, what's that kind of mean for you right now?
It's been life-changing. It's very uplifting. I'm here for business. I'm extremely focused. I've had a lot of high-profile fights, and I've been up here. I'm uncomfortable. So, Sunday, without a question, I'm going to handle this, whatever it takes.
Hi guys, Karen Wright for MMA. Question for Conor, question for you. What's the significance? How did it come together to have Sinead O'Connor here? Was it simply that you two wasn't available? You've always been a fan of hers, and she was a fan of yours. How did that come together?
I love Sinead O'Connor. I love Sinead O'Connor. I'm a big fan of Sinead. She is a passionate woman. Her voice she has a beautiful voice, and it's eerily symbolic of war. So for as long as my career, I've been coming out to Sinead, and now we get to do it live. So it's going to be a phenomenal occasion. It's going to be a bear pit inside that MGM ground. It's going to be 16,000 Irish strong. And he will face a bear inside that octagon. So I am extremely excited about this moment. I have built this, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to relish it and dominate.
And Conor, I have a question for you. obviously, you know, people were watching, if you watch The Ultimate Fighter, you know that a lot of people on your team did not want you to be the one to represent you guys in the last fight. So how have you processed that? What kind of adjustments have you made, you know, since the show and in preparation? We all know that Heider's got that big punching power, so what adjustments have you made? And sort of what are you feeling knowing that you weren't the guy that everybody necessarily wanted?
At the end of the day, just kind of assessing it. Initially, it's a bit hard to take in, but I mean, all through life, my dad's always taught me, people are going to doubt you, some people aren't going to believe in you. It's how you believe in yourself. And I've proven it going out. I believe in myself, and in every stage of my career, whether it's from wrestling to getting to this point, I believe in myself, and I go out there and I give it my all, and that's brought me this far. And as far as punching power, damn near everybody has punching power. If you look at the welterweight division, everybody has punching power. That means absolutely nothing. I've been hit before. In our sparring session in practice, each and every one is a pay-per-view event. So that's going to be nothing. I'm going to go out there and implement my game and do what I do. And break is not a word he should ever associate with me, because that's not something I do. I'm a wrestler at heart, 100% wrestler, and I do the break.
Obviously, right now you've got that great benefit of having the champion in your camp preparing at the same time. How much has that helped you prepare for really what is the biggest fight of your career?
Yeah, just having Robbie there with me during the season. I've always looked at him as a big brother, mentor. Just for what he's accomplished in his career, the mindset that he has. His fighting style is something that I try to implement. He's trying to go out there, rip your head off, knock your head into the upper deck. And that's something that I always try to do. I'm a guy that goes in there ready to kill, prepared to die. And anytime you have that type of mentality, only great things will happen. So I'm excited for this fight, and I'm going to bring it.
And Robbie, for you, just sort of what have you seen? Obviously, you are a leader, at your gym. When you look at somebody like Heider and he says he emulates you, how does that make you feel? And what have you seen in him and some of the other young guys in the team?
Yeah, it feels good. These guys looking up to me. But really, I'm just trying to lead by example, do the right things, train hard, and go out there and try to beat people up. So I think they appreciate me, the quiet guy doesn't talk very much, and I just go out there and handle my business and put on a great show.
Thanks, guys.
Richard, I wanted to follow up on your question. There's $300,000 at stake for the winner of that finale between the two guys, and that will be divided up according to the owners. And as far as the financial contracts, those are confidential.
So winning team takes all?
Yes, 300. Yep. Ariel?
Question for Steven. Jake got back on the winning track not that long ago. He was on a bit of a losing streak prior to that. How do you assess that performance? Was that a win over maybe a guy who's at the tail end of his UFC career, or do you think that he is really back on track?
To be honest with you, I do think he is. I mean, his last 3 losses were top guys in the division, so I don't take that away from him at all. Beating Koscheck is, he's down to go, he's a good fighter as well. So, I'm just ready to step into the cage octagon Sunday and show the UFC, show the fans that I'm ready for that next level of competition.
And I know you helped Chris Weidman out when he was preparing for Anderson Silva, but now it seems like almost the tables were turned where he was helping you out a lot. He went to South Carolina and all that. What's the relationship like with Chris, and how much confidence does it give you to have the champion in your corner?
It's a huge confidence builder to have Chris in your corner. I mean, for your camps, he invited me to his first training camp with Anderson Silva. I've been there ever since. He's a good buddy of mine, good family man. And it was a privilege to have him down in South Carolina to train with me, get ready for my man Ellenberger. So, it definitely puts a smile on my face to know that the champ has got my back. So it's pretty cool.
And a question for Rory. I can't help but notice the hair is changing once again. What's going on? What's the significance? Are we going away from the mohawk now?
No, I'm going to get a haircut. Don't worry.
All right.
Just a little lazy right now.
All right.
Anyway.
I was worried. And then just another one for Connor. Talking to a lot of your fellow countrymen, some have said that this is the biggest moment in Irish sports history since Italia '90, when the Republic of Ireland made that great run. I know you were just 2 years old when Italia 90 happened, but do you remember talking to people as you were growing up, like what that meant for the country, and did you ever think that I could be the guy to bring, you know, the Republic of Ireland back on the world stage once again?
I remember the buzz at the time, yeah, but I always thought I was going to be the one to do this. If I did not think that, we would not be here. Every day as you know, myself and my coach, we said, we are going to change the face of the fight game. We are going to introduce the Irish public to true martial arts, to true fighting, and that's what we have done. And now we're on the world stage. Now the game is about to be wrapped up in a little bow. So it's a monumental occasion, and I'm extremely proud of it.
And this event is exactly 6 years since UFC 100 happened. And I'm wondering if you watched that event live, and if you had those same dreams that, wow, I mean, this almost feels like the biggest one since, in some ways, for the July 4th weekend cards.
Yeah, 100%. I'm a dreamer. I always dream. I always visualize. So, of course, I'm watching UFC 100 and seeing the magnitude of that event and the fact that we have surpassed that. I am 26 years of age, and I hold every record in the game. On Saturday night, the pay-per-view record will be the final one. So, it's been a phenomenal journey, and at the same time, I'm at 26 years of age. I am still young, and I already have every record. So, I am only warming up here. We have seen nothing yet.
One last one. Obviously, ideally, you'd rather have a full training camp for a fight of this magnitude, but are you almost a little bit happy that you didn't have to go through the world tour and all that, and, you know, be around Conor and listen to him? Because it seems like sometimes you don't enjoy that process very much.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And this is perfect for me. I get to, you know, be in shape. I get to come in last minute, fill in for someone that was injured, and whoop some ass. So, yeah, this is perfect.
Gareth Davis and David Telegraph. Just following on from that, obviously, as you say, you kind of perhaps had the blessing of not having to go on the media tour with Conor. Do you actually think he is disrespectful, or is it just the fact he has this great self-belief in himself?
I can't tell if the guy's being disrespectful, if he's being calculated, but either way, I mean, this is a fight. I mean, he can say what he wants to say, you know, and we're going to get in there. Once that octagon is locked, it's going to be a war. So, you know, like I said, this guy is the type of guy that's going to try to get in your head, trying to pick you apart before you even get in the octagon, but it's not going to happen with me.
Just to take you back a few months, obviously I was in the studio at BT Sport in London when you were on the live link. Conor was in the studio with us that night. And before you had the chance, or Conor had the chance to answer how tall he was, there was the whole, he'll rest his cojones on your head. What we never got to the bottom of, or I never got to the bottom of with you, was why were you asking him how tall he is?
So he's calling me Mendes, and he acts like he's 12 foot tall, but he's not. And he's going to be laying on the ground on Saturday night, that's for sure.
And a final question for Conor McGregor. Conor, do you think Chad's disrespectful of you, calling you one-dimensional?
No, not particularly, no. I think every athlete must have things that they go to believe in it to enter the contest, but he knows himself, and he will know that he is in over his head. It's as simple as that. The first exchange, he will know.
A couple more media questions and a handful of questions from the fans as well.
Hi, I'm Anna Laurel with ABC 11. This question will start with Chad Mendes. You've seen Conor fight 5 times in the UFC now. What holes have you found in his game?
Obviously, I'm not going to talk about that right now. I'm about to fight the dude on Saturday, but there definitely are some holes in his game. I've, you know, picked that stuff apart. I've watched a lot of tape on this dude, and I'm ready for this fight.
Conor, do you want to answer that? Do you see holes that you want to tell us about in Chad's game?
I've been pretty vocal about Chad's game. I feel he is a novice on the feet. He swings the overhand, looks at the floor, closes his eyes, hopes for the best. Even his wrestling injuries, I feel, are very... You know, I don't see smoothness in the wrestling exchanges. It's more of a drive, a push. When I look at him compete and I look at him train, I see fatigue, I see inefficiency. And when that happens against me, you are in a lot of trouble.
This is like fucking yoga. We're fighting. It's going to be uncomfortable.
Have you trained differently knowing you're going to be fighting Conor? Have you trained differently knowing you're going to be fighting Conor?
I mean, we have guys on my team that are tall, long southpaws that can emulate this monkey over here. You know, I've been ready for this fight since the first time I've seen him fight in the UFC. You know, it's a guy I've been watching for a while, so we'll be ready.
He has been sweating me since I arrived in the promotion, as has the whole division. As soon as I came on the scene, everybody started preparing to fight me because they knew the king is crazy.
Mike Martinez from UFC.com. Conor, I just have one question for you. Normally these weigh-ins are held in smaller venues. Tomorrow it's going to be in the arena. What kind of Irish crowd do you expect there? And do you have anything planned for the stare down with Chad?
I don't plan nothing, not one thing. I enter everything formless and trust in my reaction and trust in my approach. But as far as what do I expect? I expect 10,000 screaming Irish fans inside that MGM for the weigh-ins. It's going to be a phenomenal weekend for the Irish, for the UFC, and for myself. So I am looking forward to it. I'm going to relish every moment of it. And that's it. I love this life.
To follow up on that, we are configuring tomorrow's arena at MGM Grand Garden Arena to set the record for UFC weigh-in attendance, so we need all you guys there. We're going to try to set another record this weekend with the largest UFC weigh-in in history, so hope to see you guys there.
I guess I got the last question. So I'd like to, number one, ask Dave, and then open it up for the entire panel. Of course, it's a massive week here in Vegas, UFC 189 Fan Expo, and also the Hall of Fame inductions. And for us at Inside MMA, it's very meaningful as we are inducting our own boss, Rory. He's going into the Hall of Fame. We're very excited about that. You heard a comment about Boss's induction, and then I'd just like to open up for anyone that has a comment about Boss, what they meant to him, or a favorite story.
I think plain and simple, Boss is a pioneer. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, and to watch him get up there alongside BJ Penn, the late Jeff Blatnick family is going to be there, and then Trig and Hughes. It's going to be a huge occasion. I hope you guys will all join us for that. Boss has had a big effect, and I think his success also overseas has paved the way for many of our fighters who joined us from Europe and other parts of the world. So he's meant a lot to this organization. We're happy to put him in the Hall of Fame.
Boss is the man. I mean, this is the guy that I grew up watching fight, but I think more importantly, just that guy's YouTube self-defense videos were unreal. It's something I'll never forget.
Boss is an absolute legend of the game. A European that went and done it. You know, he changed the approach, he changed the styles, and he's an absolute animal. I've met the man many times. He's a great man, and he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, 100%.